Today we're going to talk about a healthy lifestyle, intermittent fasting, and how I achieve my goals of fitness. I don't like to call it a weight loss journey as most people do. No, it's a fitness journey because fitness and well-being encompasses your physical, emotional, mental well-being, and that is all when it all comes together is when you can call yourself a fit person. So there's a few things that need to be looked at. One is, where are you emotionally at? Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Often during menopause, this is what women struggle with. Menopause, without the hormones, the drop of the hormones, we often have increased levels of depression, anxiety, stress levels, and we don't understand why it is. And there's good evidence that you experience more of it and you are unable to cope with the stressors that you previously could manage very easily. And that's one of the common complaints that I hear about. Women often multitask, and memory also becomes an issue. So then they struggle to understand, are you aging too quickly, or is it your hormones, or is it your weight gain? That's your emotional well-being. Then your mental well-being, as I said, like memory issues start to creep up, stresses, often we have teenage children, long-standing marriage, the stresses that come with it, extended family marriage, stresses with friends and society, all of these come into play. And then physical fitness. So over the years, there has been good evidence that around perimenopause, you gain 2.5 kilos a year, and it slowly starts to show up. So it depends on how you see yourself. If you are a person who is accepting of the changes in your body, you often sail smoothly through it all. I was not a person. I had a certain image of myself because all through my life I was a fitness fanatic. I was an athlete when I was in younger school, and I did train 5 days a week as an athlete. So it did affect me, and through university I did go to the gym and things like that. So it was affecting my mental health and also career stresses. Like often doctors have our life revolves around setting up our careers, fulfilling our ambitions, and everything else is set around it, including your young children, including your social life. Everything is around that, your career. So it starts taking a toll because as women, we like everything to work smoothly. We want to invest in our children. We want to make sure they do their uniform. We want to make sure their children get quality time, and it all affects us. And I'm not excluding fathers as well. I'm specifically talking about women during menopause. So then it starts affecting our mental well-being as well. So my children started going to childcare very early in life. My son started childcare at 11 months, and it was a good thing. I would think this was a positive thing. I was specifically very clear that I didn't want grandparents to be taking care of my kids. I wanted my kids to have a bit of support while I was work, but also know me as a parent, that I was feeding them, that I was doing their nappies, not someone else, even if it was their grandparents. I wanted, and my husband was like that too. He was very specific. He wanted to be involved in the upbringing. So all of this is then taking a toll on your career as well. Say it got to a point in 2019, there were other factors as well that mental health was, this is my personal journey, so you can connect more rather than me talking things that you can find on Google. I was really had my heaviest at 72 kilos, and I was depressed, and I wasn't happy where my career was at. So one at a time, rather than dealing with everything, I decided to take on one thing at a time that was not contributing positive to my life, my well-being, and my fitness. And I realized health is everything. If you don't have health, there is no point in having anything else. So the first thing I did was change things that weren't working for me professionally. I went into a job that did not require me to have evening shifts, night shifts, just day shifts. So 8 to 4 I worked. I decided to exercise. So initially I was very unfit. I remember this was the wake up call when I went with friends and my husband had to push me up a hill so I could climb, and this was me, and I could not accept that had to happen. So I started walking initially 6 days a week. I would walk 6 to 10 kilometers a day after work, or some days I would wake up in the morning, but I'm not a morning person, so I do it in the evening, although it is preferred to do your exercise in the morning. I started looking into intermittent fasting. I met this doctor and his wife who had lost 25 kilos plus. Between them, it was about 50 kilos. They told me about the benefits of intermittent fasting. They were actually doing a proper fast of 2 days a week fast and 5 days of normal eating. I was never a person who could fast, so I decided to look more into it. So intermittent fasting is basically you restrict the hours you eat. Intermittent fasting has its benefit in that the body expects food at a certain time of the day, and there's good evidence pancreas stops secreting insulin after 6 o'clock. So trying and eating when the sun is out. That was the best way to kick off your intermittent fasting. I didn't do it every day. I did it on alternate days initially, and I restricted my eating to 12 hours and 12 hours of fasting, slowly building it up to where it is today. Today, I intermittent fast 6 days a week, sometimes even 7 days a week, depending on what my evening meal was. And then I would eat my first meal at 12 o'clock and my evening meal at 6 o'clock. So often my lunch is chia seeds with flax seeds and some yogurt, and I start off with a light meal. I drink lots of water. I only drink warm water, and the warm water I do not add lemon with it, because lemon does affect your enamel. You got to know that, because often it is recommended to drink vinegar with apple cider vinegar and lemon, and those things will destroy your teeth. So I don't do that. I just drink warm water. I cut down my sugar. I cut down the portion size so there was conflicting studies. One of the studies said, intermittent fasting does not actually reduce your weight, but it does affect your metabolism. One of the studies said if you actually cut down your portion size and intermittent fast, then it works. So that's what I did. I cut down my portion size to 1/4. So say I was feeling like 2 scoops of rice, I ate 1 scoop of rice, to the point that my husband started noticing, and he said, "Are you having eating disorder or something?" Because he knew I was depressed, and commonly that comes in the territory of eating issues. I said, "No, I'm just restricting my diet." And because I was exercising and I was sleeping and all, he was convinced that, I'm being a doctor as well. He knew that I was healthy. I start my first meal as flax seeds, chia seeds, because that's high in protein. And then the last meal. So usually it's only 2 meals. There's good evidence that suggests all you need is 2 meals, maximum 3 meals without any snacks. The current practice is you eat a lot of snacks. So some of them are not healthy snacks. I never had a snack problem. My snack problem was my husband, who loved Indian snacks. So I stopped going to the Indian store. Other than to buy rice or something like that, I started making a list of the food I needed to buy and only picking up. And then I went, even if that wasn't working, I set a budget and I shopped online. So I started buying from Woolies, only the things that I needed to buy. And I was harsh with myself. I would set a goal to buy a dress that was 2 sizes smaller than me, and I would work towards it. So I was a size 12. Today I'm a size 6, and that's taken me literally 6 years to achieve that. Once you start intermittent fasting, the body, when you're not eating, starts using up the stored fat in your body for energy, and it becomes a habit that you no longer need high energy. Even if you're exercising, you're working during your fasting hours, it's no longer needed, because you have stored fat. It's just going to burn that fat and give you more energy. The body circadian rhythm starts working. You're sleeping regularly, plus your cortisol secretion is not whenever it wants to, rather first thing early in the morning, and then it subsides. And with intermittent fasting, your insulin resistance goes down, because you are not having these spikes of insulin during the day, because you're not snacking. and your pancreas knows when it needs to surge twice a day, and that's all it needs. So once the body has found its rhythm in 6 to 12 months, you start seeing the changes in about 3 months, and others start noticing your change in about 6 months. Along with the exercise and Pilates and the intermittent fasting starts working. You have to be patient through it. There is no magic pill. I will tell you about things like Ozempic and the weight loss drugs. They are also a lifelong commitment. So if you start taking that, very rarely do people maintain that weight. It's good for people with a BMI above 31, 30 to do these medicines. If you're struggling with your metabolism, then you need to speak to your doctor if this is suitable for you, because there are multiple side effects that you need to be aware of. But if you are like a celebrity who's already thin, I don't understand why you need to take Ozempic. It's not for people who are thin. It's for people who are big, who are struggling to lose weight, that these drugs are prescribed. And that it's how it should be, because obesity is a epidemic. And I went for a talk with an endocrinologist, and he said 5 out of 6 people in Australia are obese. So that's the reality. Along with obesity comes chronic conditions. For in my case, I was worried because my uncle had a stent put in. My aunt had myocardial infarction. Lots of diabetes in my family, and Indian genes don't help. You do need to take care of it. In the 40s, you start getting chronic diseases. So I didn't want diabetes. And that is one of the reasons I started intermittent fasting as well. Intermittent fasting does work if you are consistent, persistent with it. And portion size. A big role. 80% of your weight loss is calorie restriction, full stop. It's nothing else. So not eating the things that gives you dopamine surge, but eating things that gives you avoids your hunger pang. So I eat only when I'm hungry. I don't eat when I'm emotional. I don't eat when I want to feel happy. So I don't share food because of my happiness. So those are not things. It's a very cultural thing, because we feed others when we're hungry. I don't do those things anymore. So being a bit selfish about it makes you a happy person. And when you're a happy person, even if you didn't give others food, they will be happy to hang out with you. And that's what I found. And then I cut off a few things that was not good for me, be it people, be it circumstances. I'm not going to go into details of that. Leave your past in your past. Don't go delve into your past. It's not going to work for you. Cut it off. That's it. There's a reason there's a past. Don't ever go back and look at it. Don't look at your future either too intensely. You never know. You make plans and it never works out that way. So live in your present. Be happy and content with what you've got. Work towards your goals, and finding that space of content makes a lot of difference. I don't also take stress about a lot of things like my children's career. Yes, I do worry, but I am not overly worried that I have to lose sleep. If you've put your pavement right or your basics right, they get along and they do their thing. You don't have to push them too much. You don't have to worry about it. Things will fall in place. So everything is like that. There's an up, there's a down. You've got to accept it. And if you accept that in life, it's going to be okay. The journey is going to be easy and everything else falls in place. I've learned to accept a lot of things about me, and I'm happy about who I am, what I am. And taking care of my mental health and physical health has also made a major contribution. And the insulin resistance I spoke about, it has a huge role in it. Cutting off, as you start losing weight, your fat stores, it's because of your fat tissue, you have more insulin resistance. When your fat comes down, the insulin resistance drops further and you start losing more weight. There is no age restriction to losing weight. Portion size plays a big role. Cut down your portion size. So if you feel like eating 4 rotis, eat only 1 roti. Think of something you want to achieve. Set a goal. So my goal was to get into a size 8 dress. I was a size 12. I am a size 6 dress and I'm not planning to lose anymore. I just want to maintain the way I am. And maintenance requires hard work. So it doesn't happen you lost weight and then you let it be and then you go back to eating. It's a lifelong lifestyle change you've got to make. Your physical, mental and emotional well-being you've got to take care of. Find some good friends who are happy like you as well. Cut off things that don't work for you. You're going to be okay. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if there's anything more you want to talk about intermittent fasting. I'm more than happy to talk about it. Part 3, I will publish it by next week. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please do share, like and subscribe if you want to hear more about these things. Thank you. Bye.